Okay. I hit the button. All right.
There, it's taking its time.
Hey, what's up, Rowdy?
Oh,
We'll do it live.
How are you? How are you, good sir?
Did you see the game last night?
I did. Amazing comeback, just a little short, even with LeBron on the bench.
Well, I got a very strange question for you.
What's that?
When the comeback happened,
Mm-hmm.
it was like with LeBron on the bench. Would you, by any chance, have left him on the bench?
He's King James. I think you let him play.
Yeah, but
You let him play.
yeah. I
He's
don't know.
playing out of his mind right now.
I know he is, but the point is, D Wade was like young D Wade,
He was. D Wade looked like he did back in the day.
and then you had Jeff Green, right?
Jeff Green. Yep.
I would have left him on the bench. I know I'm crazy in saying that, right?
You might be one of a few. Tristan Thompson looked good.
What?
Yeah, I agree. Maybe.
We had 3,000 viewers with our last two episodes with this little show of ours now.
Wow, $3,000.
Yeah.
Nice.
So I'm gonna spend some time over winter break here trying to rustle up some sponsors.
That would be exquisite.
Speaking of, did you see the video that Safe Dryer shared?
You know, it's insane to see the amount of dryer lint that they suck out.
I was really surprised at the video they showed. It looked like, you know how you see those gross body videos
Yes.
where they show like something being pulled out of someone's body or something?
Yes.
It looked like that to me. It was like just disgusting, and all this stuff just kept coming, and I'm going, what is this?
Yeah, it was gross. I'm glad I had him out to my house. I know you're happy that you had him out.
What's their contact info?
Contact info, ladies and gentlemen, just can't stress it enough. Get those dryer vents checked. Don't delay. Act today. Safe Dryer, 330-510-1256. Or find them on Facebook and get that free estimate. I'm telling you, you will not regret it at all.
Let's do a show.
You ready to do a show? Let's do a show.
We've got a great show tonight. Ladies and gentlemen.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to 330 to go. I'm your host, Hank Forrester, coming to you live from Stakeout Studios overlooking the rolling plains of Hardesty Park. We got a very light-hearted episode for you tonight as we discuss the 2017 year in review. But before we do that, we are once again joined by the golden tones of Roddy Voorhees.
How we doing, Hank?
Oh, living the dream, Roddy.
Tonight's episode is brought to us by His and Hers Wedding and Party Service. Just a reminder, His and Hers is extending their special offer until the end of January. If you book your DJ with His and Hers before February 1st, you will get 50% off the uplighting package of your choice. You can find them on Facebook and The Knot. Don't delay. Make that call today.
It's all about the hers, Roddy.
It's all about the hers.
She's something else.
She is.
All right. Folks, right now we're going to kind of do a chronology of 2017. We're going to talk about happenings in the 330 and happenings around America and a little bit around the world. But before we do that, if you have not, what? It's the hats.
I wear it better.
It's the hats. Yes, but it's like, yeah, I had a different hat planned for tonight, but
I'm glad you chose that one.
Kate decided that we were gonna do these. So here we are. Folks, if you have not finished your Christmas shopping yet,
you better hurry.
We want to warn you, the
You
the malls are at like threat level midnight right now.
Get nothing.
So, you try and go out to Summit Mall or Chapel Hill or to Belden, you're not going to have a good time.
Do people still go to Chapel Hill?
They do.
Okay.
They do. Hey, if you want to see Archie, which we touched on
true.
earlier
That is
show,
very
right?
true. Archie's still there.
All right,
Go see
so
Archie.
right now what we're going to do is we're going to kind of go through we're going to kind of go through the year in review and touch on different things that have happened throughout 2017. We're asking you once again, if you want to text your comments right here. We will respond to those comments. We are not going to be making calls tonight because we're kind of we're truncated on time. We're limited.
A little limited tonight. Yeah.
We want to try and keep this show under an hour. All right, so
Good
folks, also our podcast is at 330togo.com. We've had quite a few downloads, and like I mentioned before, most of them come from out of state.
Yeah.
We're assuming those are Akronites that have moved away but are still interested in what's going on in the 330.
Exactly.
All right, so here we go. Let's start out right off the rip. All right, let's before we do this, let's all just take a breath. Okay.
Woosah, folks. Woosah.
Woosah.
Rub the earlobes.
Woosah. All right. We cannot discuss the topics that have gone on in 2017 without at least stating a disclaimer that says that some of the topics that will be discussed are political in nature, I would say.
Yeah.
And as a result, we are going to try and stay as middle of the road as possible. All right.
I choose to stay as Switzerland. I'm going to be neutral.
We'll try and both be Switzerland. We're going to have opinions. You're going to have opinions. We ask that when you share those opinions, please do so in a non-divisive fashion that is not angry.
We're just having fun, folks.
All right. So here we go. 2017. You ready? We're being
PC.
political. Yeah, Kate's over there starting already. All right,
PC.
Kate, you keep your comments to yourself.
All right.
All right, here we go.
Do we address the elephant in the room?
Yes.
Okay.
What's the elephant?
Donald Trump was the president.
Donald Trump is the president of the United States in
He went
2017.
into office in January.
He went into office in January.
Let's start there.
And in January, we had the opportunity as a United States citizen for the first time in my life to see the largest inauguration crowd in U.S. history.
It was quite large.
It was quite large. And if you listen to Sean Spicer, that ended with the statement of period.
Fake news.
And that's the thing, right? So a lot of things were brought up throughout the course of the year. We've come to grips with new terms, fake news, alternative facts, and then, of course, Saturday Night Live.
Saturday Night Live.
With Dave Chappelle.
Boss said it was okay.
It is what it is, right? So we just kind of got to leave all that on the table.
Shout out to Dave Chappelle.
Dave Chappelle, who grew up in Yellow Springs, my wife Kate's hometown. I believe mom-in-law tuned in, so we're going to keep our comments as politically correct as possible.
Dave, we'd love for you to come on the show.
Yeah, and yeah, if anybody's watching down in the Dayton, Cincinnati area, heck, if Dave Chappelle wants to text in, that is somebody that we would call. All right?
Yes, that would be fantastic.
So right after, of course, the inauguration, within that week, I believe it was the Women's March.
Yeah,
I believe it became known as the Pink Hat March.
The Pink Hat March. Yeah.
Yes, and Yellow Springs became famous for that too because they have the only tree. We can't even
tread lightly, sir.
Yeah,
tread lightly.
Yeah, we just. There's so much, guys, that happened.
Facebook's listening.
I know, and we promise that we're not going to talk about these kind of topics, right?
No, I'd rather.
So
not.
let's move on, and right off the rip, our Ohio State Buckeyes got lambasted.
They shouldn't have been in the playoffs.
They got lambasted by Clemson, right? It was what is 31 to nothing.
Zip.
31 to nothing.
0.
Whenever our team loses, the natural instinct that I have is I automatically want the team that beat us to go on and win. Because that way we could say, hey, we lost to the champion.
We did.
You know? So Clemson did go on, and we're going to touch on sports a little bit like we always do.
Fantastic ball game.
Clemson did go on to win the national championship, right?
And they did beat Alabama.
So, which is always a good day when Alabama loses
absolutely.
anything.
I think they won with 10 seconds left, 13 seconds left, something like that.
It was a fantastic ball game. But again, that's way back. It's hard to think that's way back in January.
Yeah.
All right, so another topic that's been a big headline in 330 and around the country in general is the heroin and opiate epidemic.
This is a sad topic.
I cannot go anywhere on Facebook where people don't have a direct correlation with someone that they either know or friends of people they know that have had issues where someone passed away from heroin.
Correct.
My dad was a doorman, valet, whatever you want to call him, at Akron City Hospital.
Okay.
And he said that it was a regular occurrence that people would literally be dropped off at the curb of the hospital that were having an overdose live, and the people would be afraid to get in trouble, so they would like throw them out the car door and drive off.
Oh yeah.
And this was I guess
smart.
This is a regular occurrence. And then then the Narcan issue, there's a lot of hot button topics right there, but this is a part of what's happening right now. It's something
it's an epidemic.
It's an epidemic, and how do we deal with it? I don't even know where to start.
Get help.
Yeah.
If you know somebody, get help. Get 'em
and
help.
that's it, right, guys? If you're having issues and the depression related and you're turning to drugs or whatever, and we don't do all that, but if you do and you're having those kind of issues, reach out to somebody. There's always somebody in your life that will help you.
Yep.
So, and again,
People care.
we're trying to keep it as lighthearted as possible, but there's been a lot in 2017 that's gone on, and that's one of those topics. Okay.
Yep.
Moving on to February, right? However you pronounce it.
February. Yeah.
It's got that R in there.
The shortest month of the year.
That's where our buddies from North Korea joined the fray, and they decided to launch a ballistic missile over the top of Japan. So
Wow.
that's where all the whole Rocket Man phenomenon was born. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
And you know, it's just gone up and up and up since then, and we'll talk about that later. But related to that, the Patriots won the Super Bowl.
Wait, I thought the Falcons won the Super Bowl.
No, the Falcons did not win the Super Bowl.
Falcons were winning when I went to bed.
They were winning 28-3, and you must have missed the memo.
Right.
The
Why?
95-year-old 95-year-old Tom Brady led them on the comeback of all time, and they won the Super Bowl. And it is what it is, right? Here we are. We're in the pit.
Congratulations,
We are, as Browns fans, we're in the pit of misery.
Dilly dilly.
Dilly, and we got to watch that old man win Super Bowl after Super
Bill
Bowl
Belichick
with the coach that left our
you're,
team.
You're saying Tom Brady. Gotcha.
He
never left. He was forced out.
He was forced out. Yeah.
Art Modell.
With the coach that we got rid of.
Rest in peace.
The Cleveland media forced him out. Okay, so again, 2017. All right, so we got Browns won the Super Bowl. # fake news. All right, moving on. Again, there's so many things that have happened in this year. Next is Daytona. Do you watch?
I dabble in a little NASCAR every now and again.
Do you really?
I actually will watch it from time to time.
Well, here's the thing. They all do. This is the left turn group, right? They're left turn people.
They all yep.
It's all left turns.
Yep.
So left turn. So I've got some fringe family that watch NASCAR, and to my understanding, Kurt Busch.
Mm-hmm.
Kurt Busch won this year.
Yep. Kyle's older brother.
He's not high on my list. I don't pay attention.
I'll be honest. I watch NASCAR for the wrecks. I really do. That's probably mean of me to say, but
for the wreck.
For the wrecks.
For the
I
wrecks.
enjoy watching the cars crash.
WRECKS.
Yes,
Rex.
correct.
Okay. Well, and the interesting part, right? Jimmy Johnson had won for like 100 years,
Yep.
and this was like one of the first years he didn't win. So
Right.
that's when I pay attention. But
Yep.
I didn't watch this year. But if you're into NASCAR,
Dale Jr. didn't win either.
Kurt
but
Busch won that. Dale and Danica are both retiring and leaving, aren't they?
They, at the end of the year.
Yeah.
I
So
think the season is over, so they're done.
moment of silence for Dale Jr. leaving.
We get nothing.
Moving on. All right. So here's a funny one, and it's not really funny. And you don't want to do like a demise of anything. But
Correct.
Matt, you remember Max and Irma's?
Max and Irma's was a fantastic restaurant. I enjoyed going there a lot.
They skipped town.
They left in at midnight. In the middle of the night,
It was like in February, 330 over by Montrose area. Max and Irma's, they closed the
just
doors, put a nail on it, and said, "Hey, we're out of here."
Same thing in Belden. I
Yeah.
remember going to Belden. I'm like, oh, Mac, wait, the sign's gone.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yes, rest in peace to the
Garbage burger. That's right. And Steak on a Stone.
That's gone too.
Did you ever eat a Steak on a Stone?
I think I ate there once.
A lot of people from this area will call Montrose Hill the Hill of Death, right?
Okay.
Because restaurants go up there to die.
Yes.
Some survive. There are a few, and they're like the cluster that's up there now.
Right.
But the issue is it's a very difficult area to be successful. Point being, Steak on a Stone was this interesting concept where you got brought out like a 500-degree lava rock, okay, and you had to cook your meal. So
I do vaguely remember that.
So
yes.
you would order like steak and shrimp or whatever,
Right.
And they'd bring out like a raw steak and raw shrimp.
Here's your lava rock.
And here's your
Horrible
rock.
turn of events.
So
Have
horrible.
some
you had to
Magma
cook your own
and
meal.
you're good.
So here you are paying like $95 for the two of you on a date, and you got to cook.
Yeah.
So
Nope.
it's like, what are we doing?
No, that's
so
why they went out of
I'm not
business.
surprised that Steak on a Stone took a time out there.
Moment of silence for either one? No.
No, not
Okay.
for Steak on a
We'll
Stone.
keep going.
Also in February, we had the interplanetary lineup. You remember that one?
No, you may have to
Like
remind me.
everything, like the whole solar system.
Oh, yes,
like,
yes.
Like lined up.
Yes, it did.
And everyone was like freaking out. It's a
Hey.
celestial event.
Hey, guess what? Pluto's still not a planet.
Yeah, I love Pluto. Pluto's so
It's
ostracized.
the redheaded stepchild of the planets.
So that happened in February,
Yep.
and then interesting. The rail is over in by Summit Mall.
The Upside Down Cow.
The Upside Down Cow place,
Yes.
right? The rail. They did a whole thing back in February where they like featured all the Rheingeist beers from the Cincinnati brewery Rheingeist, right?
Okay. Yeah.
And then gained a lot of traction, got a lot of popularity, and all of a sudden it started showing up at Giant Eagle and Acme's all over the place.
Yep.
Okay, so I'll credit the rail for the Rheingeist phenomenon, which then I pivot that and bookend the year by me DJing that wedding that we did. Well, what was this? Back in October, I think it was right after my wife's birthday or the weekend of my wife's birthday, and we did a wedding inside the Rheingeist Brewery down.
Oh
in
wow,
Cincinnati.
that's awesome!
And it was fantastic.
Shout out to the Rail; they have some wonderful food.
So yeah, as soon as I saw the Rheingeist beers at the rail, I wanted to point that out. Okay.
Yep.
Let's move on to March, and we're going to bring up our first world event, and that is the United. And again, my brother-in-law is from Scotland, so I try to at least pay attention to what's kind of going on over there. Okay, and it would be the UK started the Brexit negotiations. Okay. Look at this guy. Folks, we got a live studio audience, and he's having a little bit too much fun right now.
With a pink jacket.
I don't even know what's going on over there. The Brexit negotiations are where the United Kingdom decided that, and I don't know all the specifics, so don't quote me on all this, but Brexit is where the United Kingdom decided that they wanted to exit and leave the European Union.
Yes.
Okay.
I did remember.
And
hearing
all
that.
this like took place throughout the course of the year, and I believe they finally have decided that they are leaving for sure. Oh, look, my hat's limp again.
No.
All right,
Sorry
let's
to hear
try.
that.
Hold on, let's get that. All right, there we go.
What?
So UK Brexit, that's one of our world events, and another one was SpaceX. Do you know what SpaceX is?
No.
All right, so when NASA decided to privatize space exploration,
Okay.
they basically said, "Look, we're having the American people pay all this. The American people are paying all this money, and hold on a second, I had a little thing here. Okay, just hit okay. The American people are paying all this money on tax dollars, and it's all going to the space program. And what's
Okay.
the space program doing? It had been going on for so many decades that they just didn't want to justify it anymore. So they said, you know what we're going to do? We want to get people to go, to the moon privately. We want to be able to have people fly around the Earth
Right.
privately or whatever, and go to Mars privately if they want to, whatever. So they start what's called the SpaceX program. Okay.
Okay.
Well, in March, the SpaceX program conducted their first flight of an orbital class rocket, and
That's
that
awesome.
a re-entry rocket. So in other words, the whole point he's talking about Elon Musk. Jeremy, looks like Jeremy just tuned in.
Hey,
Thanks for
Mr.
shouting us out. Thanks
Mr.
for shouting us out on Orange
love
is
you,
Orange
brother.
there, Jeremy. So the point is, it's privatization of the space program. So now people can pay money and run it as a company. So
Okay.
they have control over that. So
Sweet.
that kicked off, had a big breakthrough in March.
Right.
Then also in March, we also always have
March Madness.
we also always have March Madness, right? And this year, of course, it was North Carolina.
The Tar
They're a
Heels.
repeat. They're a
Yes.
repeat flyer.
Coach Roy Williams. Way to go.
I am pleasantly surprised with how good Ohio State basketball is this year.
I haven't paid much attention this
Nobody
year.
has. The men's team is actually doing pretty well, and they may have a chance at the Big Ten title. We'll see what happens.
Wow.
But you figure they had so much changeover, and then they lost Thad Monty. He left as their coach.
Right.
It was a mutual agreement, but they're doing a nice job. So we'll see how Ohio State turns out
March
this year.
Madness is my favorite time of year.
Is it?
I love March Madness.
Well, and it's interesting, right? Because the
Big school, little school.
the boys won, the Carolina boys won, but then the South Carolina girls defeated UConn, didn't they? And it was a massive upset. So
Yes.
So it was, and UConn never loses, right?
No, they don't.
And with Oriama at the helm, and
Yep.
but South Carolina women's team runs. So they, North Carolina men won, and the South Carolina women's won.
Yep.
So that was interesting to follow.
Yep.
And then also in March, my hat keeps falling over. Also in March, we had the Equifax breach.
Yeah.
Equifax.
Hopefully
How you say that?
checked your credit score.
Well, and again, there's been a lot of activity this year in the whole, we'll get into Bitcoin later, but there's been a lot of attacks this year, virtually. So make sure you have a good defense system if you own a business, folks. Make sure you have a good firewall and all that stuff. So, because
Check your credit scores.
things will continue to intensify as we go further into this.
I
Right?
think so.
All right, so we get to April.
We're in April already.
We're in April already.
Wow, we're cruising right along.
So I guess again, this is a world event, but it's an American event too. Syria,
Yep.
has a bad guy in charge,
Yes, they do.
and they did some bad guy stuff.
Yep.
And so we went and we launched 59 Tomahawks, followed by a bunker buster, which is a MOAB bomb.
A Moab.
A Moab.
The Moab.
It's the largest bomb in the world that's not a nuke.
Yep.
So that all happened in early April.
Yep.
When the 59 Tomahawks was called a proportional response. I don't know how all that works.
I don't know.
So to any of you military folks that
let us know.
That are out there,
shine some light on it.
Make
for
a
us.
comment and let us know, what is a proportional response? What does that mean? So there's that. Okay.
Yep.
Then we had the Masters.
Sergio.
My wife calls him the waggler.
The waggler?
Yes, because when
Okay.
Sergio addresses the ball and then he waggles.
He gets position.
So
yes,
he
gets his
waggles.
balance
Sergio is commonly put on the clock. All right. You know what that means?
yeah, they time you.
Yeah, you've taken too much time. You're playing your round too slow.
You
so
don't
you're
want
put
the
on
marshal
clock.
coming up and yelling at you.
Yeah. So he's the waggler. He addresses the ball and then he waggles. Okay.
Right.
But it was good for Sergio to finally win.
Congratulations.
He was considered at that time. He was the best golfer that had never won.
Correct.
A major.
He had the longest non-major winning streak or something like that.
Correct. So there's Sergio.
Yep.
And then we got our Super Bowl, which is the draft. The Browns Super Bowl is always the draft. Okay.
Unfortunately,
it
is.
we got Myles Garrett this year.
We did.
We got Myles
They
Garrett.
didn't mess that pick up.
Now,
They
I have a
didn't
question.
Mess that pick up.
We've already secured the #1 pick for next year. So should we rest our players at this point? We should rest
Can we get a win, please?
No, we're already in our Super Bowl. So
Can
should
we
just,
lose the #1 pick?
Should we just rest our players?
Why win? Why would you want to win?
I don't want to be known as a winless
Do you want to do the
team.
parade? You really want to go in 6?
No.
McNeil,
No.
you want the McNeil?
No.
McNeil, if you're listening, I know you've been starting to follow me on Twitter.
No.
Do you really want to do the 0-16 parade?
No.
Seriously?
Are you kidding me?
All right. So also in April, Akron
It
in the
was hot.
330 area had the hottest
It was hot.
April on record.
If I remember right. We
And-
had some
and-
days in the 70s and
This
80s.
this is where I started having global warming discussions on Facebook.
Yeah.
And I just got shouted out of the gymnasium. So I'm like, I gave up the global warming thing.
Yeah.
At least I don't have to talk about it. It's happening.
It's-
I mean, it's
give
not
it
like
up.
I don't have to talk about it. People know.
It's
You know,
happening.
science is
fever.
science is
Yes, I got a feeling
Yeah.
it's hot in here.
cowbell for global warming. All right.
No.
You said I got a fever. You did it.
No.
All right. So then every year we go through the same thing with the Indians,
Chief Wahoo.
and it's the Chief Wahoo ruckus. Okay.
What do you feel about Chief Wahoo?
I don't know. I'm this much Indian. I'm Delaware. I'm Lenape. Okay.
Gesundheit.
I am not enough Indian to claim anything on anything where I can get anything.
Okay.
I've never been able to get huh?
Self-identify?
I can self-identify as a Native American.
No.
The point is, I don't feel like I can have an opinion. There's a lot of matters where I don't feel I'm qualified to have an opinion.
I will say that I've enjoyed the Block C.
Here's the deal, right?
But-
If you go and you go after the Chief Wahoo thing,
Mhm.
you then have to make that unilaterally
after
in
everybody.
every sport. And I'm talking. I mean, think about this: Seminoles, Redskins,
Blackhawks,
all of it, right?
Yeah, you have
It's
to
like,
touch on all of them.
and everyone says, "Oh, it's because Chief Wahoo's disrespectful because he's a caricature." No, you can't do it. You got it. If you go one, you got to go all of them.
It's
So I don't even know where to start with that, right? So, but it happens every year.
I like Chief Wahoo.
Yeah, and I do too. All right, and then
Part
of
my
course,
childhood.
in the month of April, April ended with
This
April.
probably was the best thing that happened up until this point.
This was the
This
happiest.
broke the internet.
Happiest moment of Facebook was April the giraffe.
April the giraffe.
If you're out there listening right now,
Hi, April.
raise your hand and tell us that you watched April the giraffe live, or if
everybody
you
did.
saw the birth, or did she?
Everybody watched
Mrs.
that giraffe.
Mrs. Moonman, did she? You were in on it seriously?
Mrs. Roddy
Wait,
was in on it
Mrs.
too.
Roddy was in on it
Yeah,
too.
she watched it.
This was a for real thing.
Hey, Hank,
What?
I watched it too.
You watched the April
I
the
did.
giraffe?
I did.
Did all right? Let me ask you this:
I did.
Did you guys know and see the actual live birth?
No, I did not. I was at work.
Mrs. Roddy did.
Yes.
Mrs. Roddy did.
She did.
Okay. Well, your sister. What? Your sister in Cambodia watched April the giraffe be born,
Yeah,
have the baby live.
They
All
watched it together.
Again, folks, that was back in April.
Shout out to Heather.
We got to have it on the list, right? Because it was a thing.
It broke the internet. Like every news channel, everybody was talking. Facebook, everybody was talking about it.
Oh goodness!
I'm sorry that you didn't watch it.
And then it looks like one of our friends of show, Holly, just tuned in, who had Boss Baby.
Hugo Boss.
Yeah, not that he's not Hugo. He's Boss Baby. So
Hugo Boss.
Boss said it was okay.
Yeah, there you go.
Boss said it was okay.
There you go.
All right, so moving on to May.
We're going to May.
She needs that clip.
She needs that clip.
So Holly, if you're still listening with Jude out there, you need that clip. So get it from Mr. Moon. Get it from the boss. Get it from the Moon Man. All right. So and moving on to May, right? Ransomware attacks all over the place. The UK health system got completely brought down.
Yep.
And it was held at ransom for Bitcoin. Okay.
Yep.
So for those of you that
don't have a clue what Bitcoin is.
So Bitcoin is what's called cryptocurrency. It's a currency that's in the underweb of the internet. Okay. And it can be anything that you want it to be because you can literally mine for it and create it. And back in the day, it was one of those where it was a very boss is in the house. I see she just texted it. It's one of those deals, right, where it's very difficult to understand, and it's the concept of Bitcoin and blockchain. Okay, so look those up because they're going to become very prevalent in machine-to-machine communications here in the very near future with autonomous vehicles. So get ready for that.
Come on, Elon Musk.
Uber,
get on it.
Uber and all that will be taken over by autonomous vehicles, and they'll be run by Bitcoin.
Can we talk about Elon Musk?
We can talk about Elon Musk.
Can you get it together? Get it together, please.
They are on it together, and
he's so far behind. No, he's like 2 years behind.
They're in the arms race right now. This is the modern day arms race of autonomy.
I want to drive,
but we're in a hurry.
Have to drive
and I talked about this with CES earlier in the year. Okay, we're in a hurry to replace ourselves. We're in like Demolition Man meets Terminator.
I'm lazy
right now.
and I don't want to drive.
You want to sit in a car where it's like an office, right? And you could just kind of
I could do what I need to do.
Do what you need to do.
Get to where I need to go.
I get it, but at the same time,
as long as I don't die and I get there in one piece,
but we have to have control over that technology. We can't let it run rampant.
Get it together.
All right, so they're working on it. They're working on it. And I posted a article on LinkedIn about a week and a half ago, and it's about Tesla semi trucks. Can you imagine
that? Look, I saw that.
Can you imagine a whole fleet of trucks going down the highway, and they're all autonomous, and they're going from UPS place to UPS place. And that's how Amazon's going to deliver.
That would be a little weird.
Yeah, but the point is, folks, that's the direction we're going. This is 2017 we're in, right? Next one is, this was a bad one, and this is a world event.
Oh, my goodness.
Ariana Grande. Ariana Grande concert.
Yep.
It was the first time where, they call these things soft targets, like concerts and stadiums and all that, right? It was the first time where we saw that happen. It was right in your face, and it was like bada bing, bada boom. I mean, there had been the Orlando shooting last year with the nightclub and the movie theater and all that stuff.
Right.
But this was a little different because now you're talking a concert with teenage girls. Right?
I thought it was a joke when I first heard it, and I turned the TV on, and that's all they were talking about. And sometimes you just can't fathom people and why they do.
Well, and again, this whole thought process with terrorism that's both domestic and international now, it's something that we live with in this day and age. And
terrorism is real, folks.
And again, we're trying to keep this lighthearted, folks, but we're also keeping it real with you, right? That moves us to the Kentucky Derby. I'm not a big horse guy. Are you a horse guy? No.
I always look at the ESPN clicker, though, at the bottom to see who wins.
Well, for me, it's about the Triple Crown. Like, if a guy's won two, I want to see if they can go and win the third, right? So everybody watches, okay? Well, so here we are. This is, I don't know. This was...
The Always Dreaming one, right?
Always Dreaming.
Okay.
But this was, 7-8 years ago. And remember Big Brown?
Yeah.
All right, so Big Brown's running. We're all watching Big Brown. We're down in... Were we in Kentucky or were we over in Finland? I think we're down in Kentucky, and we had all gotten a horse. So it was the first time as a family where we all watched. It was with Kate's family down south. We all were watching the Derby for the first time ever.
Bless you.
Okay, and we made it fun by how you do squares with the Super Bowl. So we all drew a horse name. So everybody there, the kids, the adults, all had a horse, and we all put in like $5. So the pot was like $50 or whatever.
Who was your horse?
I don't even remember. I had like Henry the horse. I don't even know.
Henry the horse.
I don't even know.
All right.
Point being, Big Brown won. Big, massive horse, right? Ran away with the whole thing. And one of our kids had 8 bells. 8 bells was a filly. She was the only female that had run in the Kentucky Derby
Mhm.
against that group at that point. And she finished second. Okay. So everyone's going, 8 bells, 8 bells, 8 bells. And here she's coming up, and then Big Brown just goes, blah, right? Well, 8 bells then collapses past the you remember this?
Yeah.
She collapsed past the finish line, broke both her legs. So they bring the ambulance out, the horsey vet place thing, and they kill her on the track.
Euthanize the horse.
So all of us are watching this live, and these kids are all 8 bells, because one of the kids' horses is going to win, and then not only does it not win, but then they kill it on live TV.
Horrible turn of events.
They needed to take it out.
But the point is, though, that was the last time that we watched the Kentucky Derby.
That would definitely change.
That kind of ruined it for us, kind of. All right, so next one's for Brett and Eric. Brett is one of my antagonists, and Eric is one of my supporters out there.
Indianapolis
in Facebook world.
500.
These are both open wheel guys. I don't do open wheel. Do you do open wheel?
I will watch the Indianapolis 500.
So the point is,
again, I watch for the rest.
It's open wheel. I don't get it open wheel. And like I said, NASCAR is all left turns. Open wheel is just crazy. Mm-hmm. They're going like 200 to 250 miles an hour, and they're doing the chicanes and all that, right? Mm-hmm. So the Indy 500 was won by Takuma Sato. All right. So again, we're just touching on this stuff. 2017 Indy 500.
I believe he was the first Japanese winner ever.
I believe so.
Yeah.
All right. So that's Indy 500. So
I get the kissing of the bricks because it's at the Brickyard. I still don't understand the drinking of the milk.
I don't know. That's our open wheel cart guys. So there you go.
I don't understand the drinking.
And then back in May, at a local Akron event, we had finally Rosie got a face. Rosie the tunnel machine.
What?
Oh, yeah.
Rosie the tunnel borer. Okay.
Yep.
So, folks, if you ever heard of Rosie, and if you haven't heard of Rosie, if you live in Akron, just go look at your water bill right now. And there's a thing that says EPA mandates, and it's like 14 times what the rest of your bill is. That's to pay for Rosie to dig. Okay. So Rosie the tunnel machine is in fact, one of friends of show, Yoli. Yeah. Yoli is she's the Akronist, right? She's a big deal around town.
Okay.
She actually got live footage inside Rosie while I was getting ready to dig. It was really cool. I saw it. All right. In fact, Yoli wanted to point out that she really did enjoy our grocery store episode.
Yeah.
So the whole grocery store episode where if you haven't seen that, that's episode 3. Yeah. And go ahead and look back.
2 episodes
ago. Check out episode 3 where we compared all the grocery stores in Akron.
Yeah.
The point is, and again, you can find all those here on 330 to go. That's where our pod's located.
Yep. Thanks, man.
She likes our format when we do consumerism and compare things.
Okay.
All right. So that ends May. Also, a Kate note. Kate, remember you said, let it grow, let it grow, let it grow?
Yeah.
Kate has authorized me to allow my hair to grow free for the next 3 months.
Okay.
Can you do that?
No.
Okay. So the point is,
No.
I'm gonna go ahead. I'm gonna let that happen. I have no idea what's gonna happen. So men, if you're out there, if you have any hair care products that you'd like to recommend to me, whether it be gel or mousse or whatever I should be using, is it mousse still a thing? Okay, just let me know. Let me know about that. All right.
I'm sorry for what's going to happen. I
well, we don't know. I haven't grown my hair out in 20 years.
Kate, I'm sorry.
All right. So
are you going to go like Colin Kaepernick on the
I'm
cover
thinking
of
it's
GQ,
either going to look like Kaepernick from GQ or like Jonah Hill from War Dogs.
Okay.
With the whole slick back look.
Yeah.
One or the other. I'm not sure. All right.
right.
So moving on to June, and June, of course, was also another sad month.
No, we're not. No, nope.
June was June was where our Cleveland Cavaliers lost to the Golden State Warriors. Can I get a boo? Can I get a boo? There you go.
Yeah.
Why do you do this?
I don't know why we do it every year, but we always root for our Cavaliers. And I feel, we touched on this earlier on our Cavs episode, I feel that our bench, especially with what I saw last night, we've got the bench now to win again. So we'll see.
It's a long
We'll
season.
see. It's a long season.
We got a long way to go.
Also in June, the United States agreed.
Well, hold on.
What?
Before you go.
Yeah.
Christmas Day.
What?
We get a rematch.
We do get a rematch, but
it's Golden State against Cleveland.
But it's regular season, and
don't care.
No, because Isaiah's out and Steph Curry's out, and no matter what happens, there's going to be excuses on both sides.
I don't care.
Because both sides have fine people.
We get a rematch.
I'm just telling you.
I'm looking for a W Christmas
All right.
Day.
Okay, so
Come on, Santa, make it happen.
also in June, the United States withdraws from the Paris Climate Agreement. I don't even know what that means exactly. So it was one of those things that happened.
It was a big deal.
It was a big deal. Everybody made a big deal about it. I'm not sure all the implications, but I remember George Carlin, the old comedian. Yeah. George Carlin always had a saying. Mm-hmm. He always had a saying. He said, "The Earth's not going anywhere. We are."
Exactly.
So, climate change or no climate change, we've got a shelf life, right? Can we agree on that?
We have a shelf life.
All right. So the point is, let's try and control what we can. But what we can't control, we can't control.
We all have a time card, and eventually that time card will clock out, but will not clock back in.
That's right. And okay, and then the other sports event in June, and I don't get into this. I don't know.
Hockey is fun.
Are you an NHL guy?
I like to watch hockey.
So I'm not a big NHL guy because we really don't have a local team. I mean,
Columbus, yeah. No.
I rooted for the Columbus Blue Jackets, but they got
the minor league team up in Cleveland.
The Monsters. Yeah, and Liz, if she's out there in Copley, Liz at Copley, friend of the show, they go to the Monsters games pretty regularly because their family.
No, we are not touching.
Their family is a Toledo-based family, so they're into hockey, right? The whole Michigan. What do you say? The Flat Earth Club?
He wants to talk about.
We're not talking about that. We're not doing the Flat Earth Club because that was in June as well.
That was
all right. So point being, NHL, the Penguins won the Stanley Cup.
Sid the Kid, Pittsburgh Penguins.
Do we even care?
I think we care a little bit.
All right. So.
Because it's good.
That happened in June.
That's good.
All right. So at this point, it's intermission time.
Although I find it humorous that the Stanley Cup, for an ice hockey game, is in June.
I agree.
Yeah,
that's fun.
Yeah,
that's funny. Why not play it in the dead of winter when?
And the other part to that is the fact that most of the hockey arenas, the ice is either under a basketball court, right?
Correct.
And if I remember correctly, and I might be wrong, the year that we won the championship, I think, the Monsters also won the
Calder Cup. Yep,
Calder Cup,
mm-hmm.
and they had issues during the finals with the court
condensation
because
of
the condensation.
So
the ice was underneath.
I propose that we move all hockey games outdoors.
In June?
Sure, why not?
Hey,
if we can make it snow, we can make ice.
We got a new joiner here. It looks like Jude has joined us. The owner of Boss Baby.
The owner?
the producer of Boss Baby.
Right? Did you just say the owner?
What's the right word there? The father?
Father?
The father. Oh, I didn't want to go all that, right? Because
Boss said it was okay.
Boss said it was okay.
Boss said it was okay.
We'll roll with it.
So here's to Jude, and I do want to do a shout out to Jude.
Hi, Jude.
Not just to Jude, but to all of our Akron and again he's incognito, but how about a general shout out? This doesn't go to Jude. I'm not saying this to Jude in any way. A general shout out to all of our Akron police officers. Folks, I don't even know. I don't even listen. I don't
Mayday.
even know.
Mayday.
No, because Doug is
Deacon?
Doug is a regular friend of show, and he's a 911 dispatcher.
Okay. All right.
Here's the deal, right? So I don't know if you guys saw this. I put this up on, and I don't know how it works with Facebook when you share someone else's live video if they have their settings the right way.
Okay.
But about a day or two ago or a week and over the weekend, it was on Saturday morning.
Mm-hmm.
The Akron Police Department, and this is a nice thing to put into our 2017 year in review. The Akron Police Department showed up. It was at the corner. God, what was that?
It was Shop with a Cop.
No. This was not Shop with a Cop. Shop with a Cop was the week before, where they all went blazing down West Market and woke up everybody, and everybody was complaining on next door neighborhood. Like, what was all the SWAT team going? And I'm like, they're doing Shop with a Cop. But the following week, this past Saturday, it's called Elves and More. It's a program, and I don't know if it's a police program or if it's just that they were a part of it.
Okay.
They showed up. It was an intersection around Summit Lake by Kenmore Boulevard, and they brought in 6 semi-trucks, and they blocked the entire intersection, shut it down, put down barricades all around, and unloaded these trucks, and they were full of hundreds of bicycles.
Awesome.
So the entire neighborhood, like they're doing their thing. They're blowing the horns of the the sirens are on the cars and they're blowing the semi-truck horns. They literally woke up this whole neighborhood.
That's a good reason to be
you
woke
could go
up
back,
then.
look on my live feed. I shared it a couple days ago, and they shut down the intersection and literally gave away hundreds of bicycles to kids. Kids were just walking out of their apartments, and they're like,
That's awesome.
"How big are you? Here's a bike. Boy or girl? Here's a bike. Boom,
That's
boom,
awesome.
boom, boom." And then I saw it was the Akron Police Department. She's boss baby producer. I can't read that. Can I read that? Boss baby producer is the new baby daddy.
No.
Baby's daddy.
You did it anyway.
All right, I read it out.
Said it was okay.
All right, so time out. This is where we take an intermission. I get to break and not talk. Yay. And we're going to do a 2017, our version of In Memoriam.
Yep.
These are the folks that we lost in 2017 that we wanted to bring up to you guys.
And I will preface that this is in no particular order. Please do not comment, and it's in no particular order, folks. And if I miss somebody, let me know.
All right, so here we go.
Here we go. All right, Della Reese. She was touched by an angel.
Angel lady?
Yeah, angel lady. She unfortunately passed away. Malcolm Young,
Who's that?
founder of AC/DC.
Oh, I'm about to get throat punched for saying who was that by a lot of our
You
guitar
are.
people that I'm friends with.
Roy Halladay.
Yep.
Roy
Halladay was the
Halladay was the pitcher and Cy Young Award winner for the Phillies and the Toronto Blue Jays.
he died in a one-person plane crash. didn't
Helicopter crash.
he? Okay.
Very sad. All right, I'm going to butcher his last name. You corrected me earlier. Robert
Guillaume. Okay.
Benson.
Yep.
Fats Domino.
Found my throw on Blueberry Hill.
Yep. Ralphie May.
And
Very funny guy. Ralphie May, gone too soon.
can't get this hat to stay up.
Yeah.
You guys yelled at me. I didn't know Ralphie May.
Ralphie May was on Last Comic Standing. If you don't know who Ralphie May is, go ahead and take a gander. He was a funny guy.
Was he clean or dirty?
Don't watch. Yeah.
Don't watch with
Not
the kids.
safe for work.
So if you tune in for what's his name? Ralphie May?
Ralphie May.
Okay. All right, got it.
All right. Tom Petty.
Yeah.
That one hurt a little
Tom
bit.
Petty was a biggie.
Yep. Hugh Hefner.
And I touched on Hugh Hefner.
Yep. Founder of Playboy.
Yeah.
Yeah. Got it.
And people either loved him or hated him. He was totally a polarizing character in America.
Okay. Troy Gentry.
My wife is a big country music 94.9 WQMX buff, and she, Montgomery Gentry, and she was real sad at that one.
Yep. How about Jerry Lewis?
Jerry Lewis, one of the
He has the radio or the TV
leading men of comedy of all time.
Yeah,
I mean,
that's the same one that does the TV, the show on TV. You call in, donate money.
the Jerry Lewis Telethon every year. Yep.
This one hurt. Charlie Murphy.
Charlie Murphy.
May he rest in peace.
Charlie Murphy. Dave Chappelle's Charlie Murphy.
Yep. Glenn Campbell, founder of the Eagles.
Yep.
Chester Bennington, lead singer of Linkin Park. Bill Paxton.
Oh, what?
Bill Paxton.
Comment right now if you're watching. What was your favorite Bill Paxton movie?
Twister.
A lot of people said Twister. You got to remember, he was in a lot of stuff.
He was in so much stuff.
You ready for this? He was in Tombstone.
Yep.
Ooh, good movie.
Aliens.
He was in Aliens.
Mhm.
Good movie. He was in Weird Science.
Yeah.
Ooh, he was Chet. He'll always be known as Chet.
Yep.
In Weird Science.
Yep.
I mean, Paxton was in a lot of stuff. All right.
May he rest in peace.
What else?
Obviously, for our wrestling fans, George the Animal Steel.
Oh, George, he was the first to eat the turnbuckle, right?
Yeah, he ate the
He
padding.
would tear apart
I
the
guess.
turnbuckle and eat it.
Yeah. Batman died. Adam West.
The soft-spoken Batman.
Yes, he was.
Not this talking Batman.
No.
Yeah.
The original Batman,
He was
Adam West.
He was like, hey, let's go, Robin. We're
Yeah,
going to go save the world.
Yeah, that guy.
All right. Yeah.
Yep.
He was the gray suit Batman.
Chris Cornell. Christopher Big Black Boykin, for those that watched MTV, and Rob Dyrdek, and he passed away of a heart attack. That one. That's
Okay.
sad. He was a good guy. Prodigy. You still have no idea who Prodigy is.
Am
We
I in
talked
trouble?
about this for an hour.
Am I in trouble for not knowing?
Moon Man.
Okay.
Wow.
Our producer just
Our
walked off the
producer
set
just
because I don't know
walked
who
out
Prodigy is.
From
Really?
the group Mob Deep. He also did some solo stuff.
Next.
Greg Allman from the Allman Brothers.
One of the Allman Brothers. Yep.
Joni died. Aaron Moran.
Joni loves Chachi?
Joni loves Chachi.
Oh, that's right. She had
Aaron
cancer.
Moran had cancer. And
Yeah.
Judge Wapner.
Wapner.
Yeah, from the People's Court.
Wow. Okay.
Monty Hall,
Okay.
game show host.
Okay.
Gary Glitter.
Rock and roll. Okay.
Yeah. Sir Roger Moore.
Okay. Oh, wait. Sir Roger Moore.
Sir Roger Moore.
Like James Bond.
Like Bond.
Who was your favorite James Bond, folks? That's
James
going to be
Bond.
our poll question when we finish up. Let me write that down. Favorite Bond.
Favorite Bond.
It's arguable because a lot of it not only stems off of which Bond you like, but also what was the favorite movie.
Right.
Okay. Next.
All right. Jay Giles.
Okay.
From the Jay Giles Band. Don Rickles. Guy was hilarious.
He's another one of those comedy legends.
Don Rickles
was real. Remember who's the guy with the Withers? The guy that was always on what's it called? Scooby-Doo. Old Man Withers with the eyebrows.
John Rickles also on Carol Burnett.
Yeah,
Yes.
Rickles was on Carol Burnett.
Yep, Carol Burnett
There was
show.
that whole group of comedians. Tim Conway, that whole group, right?
Yep.
Rickles was in that group.
Okay, we have Chuck Barris. You don't know who that is?
Is that Gong Show?
That is the Gong Show.
Okay,
Gentleman who created the Gong Show. Chuck
Okay.
Berry.
that's
Fantastic guitarist.
Yep.
Ivan Koloff, again for our wrestling fans.
He was Iron Sheik's partner, wasn't
Tag team partner.
Yep.
Yep. Mary Tyler Moore.
he? Yeah, Tyler Moore was a biggie. Yep.
Joni Sledge.
Sister Sledge,
Yep.
the group.
Yep.
Okay, we are family, right?
We are family. Yep.
Okay.
John Hurd.
Okay.
Sam Shepard.
Sam Shepard, folks, if you've never seen The Right Stuff, that's a classic movie about early NASA space program. Lots of big actors in that one, so check that out. Sam Shepard was in a lot of stuff. Sam Shepard became known. He did a lot recently in the last 5 to 10 years. He was a dad character. He was a dad in a lot of stuff. Okay, and then I think we had a famous.
This one hurt me the most.
Yeah.
Tilikum the Orca.
Tilikum the Orca. I didn't even know that they stopped calling them all Shamu. I thought they were all
Tilikum the
Shamu.
Orca, yeah, I guess passed away early January of this year.
Okay.
I'm sure SeaWorld mourns with me.
Let's get a moment of crickets for Tilikum the Orca. All right, now we're in
Thanks.
July, so let's hear for our in memoriam. And we're not going to cheer, right?
No,
we're not going to make a
gonna
hoopla,
cheer.
but those
No.
are all folks that we lost. Again,
May they all rest in peace.
We missed some. That was just a list that we touched on, and we give an honorable mention to Carrie Fisher because Carrie, even though Carrie passed away, we believe back in
December
2016,
27th,
right?
2016.
We still give her an honorable mention because her last appearance in a movie is this week with Star Wars.
with Star Wars.
So, and I see Eric just joined. Eric, you missed it. We did some Indy 500 coverage about Open Wheel. It was about 10 to 15 seconds worth because we don't know anything about.
It was won by a guy, Japanese guy.
We don't know
Sato
anything about.
Sato.
We don't know anything about
He
open
won.
wheel racing. So, Eric, if you're
He
out
won.
there, you and Brett, that was for you guys. Okay.
Yep.
All right. Back in July, that's where North Korea really went bigger, and they did their ICBM, and that's where we got our first real tweet about the Rocket Man.
Mm-hmm.
So that was back in July. Moving on in July, that's where the heroin and opiate epidemic was brought to the stage in regards to the national level. That's where a lot of national attention was gained in regards to. Oh, look, see, Eric tuned in. No, we said open cart.
Now,
Open cart.
F1.
F1 is Formula One.
That's Formula Un.
But aren't they? You're probably next time you see me, probably at one of the Christmas episodes this weekend. You're probably going to throat punch me
Christmas
for this.
episodes.
And not episodes, Christmas services.
Christmas
I said episodes.
service.
Which sometimes
I got you.
All right. Point being, Eric. The point is, Eric. What's the difference between F1 and open wheel? Okay. Formula One, is that more international versus open wheel is more American? I don't know. So pull me aside and explain it to me. All right.
All right, let's keep going. here.
Heroin took the stage again in July.
Still very bad.
Yeah, it was still bad.
Very bad.
But in July is when we had a national initiative. We had a
Still
national
bad.
initiative that came up, right, in regards to dealing with that as programs. So, that's one of the things I want to touch on with one of these shows about the Food and Drug Administration.
Yep.
dealing
need
with
to.
alcohol, drug, and tobacco. And we'll touch on that hopefully at some point this year. We got some police that have offered to be on the show and have offered to have some of these discussions.
Right.
Blossom Music Center is always really big over July.
Yeah, a lot of concerts.
Over the summer. Do you go to that at all? Or
Not really. I haven't been to a concert at Blossom in a little while.
Moon Family? Do you go to any Blossom stuff?
That's
We
their
just-
hometown.
We just don't do it. I mean, the Foresters.
We should.
Since we had all these babies and got old, we just don't do concerts.
We are old.
And then
Well,
another
you're
thing,
old, but
330 related again. Another thing I want to touch on is the Barberton Fourth Friday program.
Yep.
Folks, if you're not aware, Barberton last year, a group of high school students, they decided to put a program together. It's called Fourth Friday, and every fourth Friday of the month, the downtown Akron in Barberton hosts like a little get together, and all the businesses stay open later, and it's encouraged to bring people to downtown Barberton, and that's a really neat program that they do. So I wanted to touch on that because
shout out to Barberton.
it's real popular over the summer. Okay, so then August comes around, and the biggest international deal and national deal
Total eclipse
was the total eclipse,
of the heart.
not of the heart, but of the sun.
My fault.
And it was the reason it was such a big deal is because it was coast to coast.
It was and it depended on where you lived.
Yeah,
you got a better view. I know you took your son and went on a little road trip to see it.
It was my boss's idea, day job boss, and he goes, "Hey," like a month before, he goes, "Let's go see the eclipse." I'm like, "What do you mean?" He's like, "Let's just go down to Kentucky or Tennessee." I'm like, "Are you serious?" He's like, "So I got 1 month to find a hotel that have all been booked for like 3 years."
Yeah, that's
Luckily, we lucked out. We got one in Knoxville, and then we actually drove to a Civil War, like a fort,
nice.
around actually Revolutionary War time,
Mm-hmm.
and it was awesome. So I'll post that video back up,
Very cool.
and we actually
the eclipse was something special.
it's and again we're gonna see it in Akron supposedly in April in 7 years, but I didn't want to take that chance of not seeing it because who knows
7 years.
what
That would make you
what are the
70
what are
something.
shut up what yes
Yes.
The eclipse, you brought my child home with a tick on his stomach. You mean?
Oh.
yeah our son did bring a tick home from Kentucky. Or was it Tennessee we're at? We're in Knoxville. That's
I
Tennessee.
believe that you just opened up a.
No, the
can
point
of
is, though,
worms.
what are the chances of April in Ohio being a clear sky? All right. So that's why we went. We had a fabulous time. It's literally, whether you believe in God or not, folks, we do. And it was literally like God just snaps his fingers and it's like, bam,
It was
circle.
pretty cool.
And I just went, what is that? I mean, I'll put the video back up. It was insanity. And then, of course, moving on. Now, again, this goes out to all our bigger audience. We know a lot of you folks download our pod that are down in the Florida and Texas areas. Hurricane Harvey was the first, and that was down in Houston.
Yep.
I was literally monitoring that one hour by hour with one of our friends that's in the Galveston area, and they decided to stay. And our heart goes out to you guys. I did a DJ sing challenge, karaoke challenge to try and raise money for you folks, and we did get quite a few to donate. And a lot of friends from our church have donated their time, money, and resources to try and come help you out, and I hope you guys are doing okay.
J.J. Watt raised a ton of money.
J.J. Watt and J.J. Watt was Sportsman of the Year with SI, right? And him and the Houston Astros
Jose
guy.
Altuve.
Yeah, because they of their efforts to help with
Shout
both.
out to Houston.
Well, Altuve also was related with the Puerto Rican situation too.
Exactly.
So then we had Mayweather McGregor that broke the sports world.
Rip off.
Well, no, it was worth.
You knew.
Hank,
you knew going in that McGregor was going to lose.
Can you see my face right now,
Yes.
everybody?
Mayweather had that match from start to finish.
Right. But at the same time, we expected that, but at the same time, they gave us a show. Just admit that they gave a show, right?
They did. It was entertaining.
Did they make it worth the money to pay?
I didn't pay.
I went and saw it at a bar up in Cleveland because I was coming off a show.
I went to a friend's house.
All right. The point is, I thought it was worth the spectacle. All right.
Okay.
That was back in August.
We'll wait for the rematch.
U.S. Open for all my tennis buffs out there. My brother-in-law Ken, he's big into tennis. He actually he coaches both high school and college over the years, and he also he's a helper line judge at, I believe, the tennis matches that are the professional ones that take place in Cincinnati.
Okay.
But U.S. Open.
Shout out to Rafael Nadal.
Rafael Nadal. You know, say it like the turtle name, Rafael.
Yeah, Rafael.
Okay. Rafael or Rafael. Okay.
Rafael Nadal.
So Nadal wins the U.S. Open in tennis back in August. And then another bad little black eye for America.
Charlottesville.
was Charlottesville.
Yep.
That took place in August, ended August. Caused a lot of division, a lot of dissension, a lot of arguments, a lot of disagreements. And it really makes you check where you're at as a culture, as a society, and as a family.
Shout out to Charlottesville.
So
We're still praying
Charlottesville,
for you.
those folks had to go through that, and it's the whole Civil War statue thing,
Yep.
right, with all that stuff. So, I mean,
Yep.
and again, this is all stuff that's going on in 2017, folks. It's been an interesting year. Moving on to September, we finish up with Hurricane Harvey, and right on the heels of that are Irma and Maria.
My goodness.
Okay,
Yes.
so Irma just wiped out the Caribbean islands in Florida, and took the Florida Keys right off the map. And I believe Mrs. Moon has family that her brother is down in the Florida Keys. How are they doing, by the way? Are they okay? Is their house back
Thumbs
together?
up.
Or
Not back together all the way, but they're there.
they've got a roof.
And their boats.
They've got a roof in their boats. Okay. So to the Moon family out there in Florida, okay, Mr. and Mrs. Moon, our call screener and producer, their brother-in-law brother, okay, they're doing okay in the Keys. We got a lot of friends that tune in from the Keys. I have a friend I was monitoring down at Miami Beach. She ended up going inland, coming back, and she got lucky, and the water literally stopped at the doorway of her apartment. Like, here's the apartment door, and the floodwaters on Miami Beach stopped right there, okay? So, this was all stuff we were monitoring. We had friends all over the place. Catherine's down in Tampa in that area. I got Billy Ray Shea up in Jacksonville. Aunt Betty. Aunt Betty was down in Ormond Beach, Daytona area. I mean, these were all people, like, literally we're watching these people's lives happen.
And it just seemed like they had just gotten over one hurricane, and then another comes.
It was crazy. It was crazy.
Yeah.
It was crazy. And then Maria just completely destroyed Puerto Rico. And I still use Despacito, the song, to try and help raise awareness and cash. Anytime I'm DJing an event, I play Despacito, and I say, this is going on to our friends and family out in Puerto Rico, and please make sure when you get home, donate $10, at least try and help out. Let's get them power. Let's get them water, all that stuff. And there's a lot. A large portion of the island, a large portion of the country still does not have power. Correct.
Yeah.
So, I mean, and these are all things, we feel helpless. And then right on the heels of that was the earthquake, the big earthquake in Mexico.
Oh my goodness. Yeah.
All right. So here we are, right? We got the eclipse, then hurricane, earthquake. And I'm going, the world's ending. I'm like this. Yeah, it's like I'm reading Revelation or something right now.
It really made you think.
It was like crazy. It was crazy. But amidst all that, in the middle of September was the glorious Cleveland Indians win streak.
Yes, it was. Let's end September
with some happy, yes. Right? So all this bad stuff's going on all over the world, and then you got the Indians winning
22 in a row.
Yes, which here's the stinky part, right? It doesn't mean anything.
You know what?
It doesn't mean anything. It's in the record books.
Let me tell you something.
And it doesn't even mean that in the record books, because they say the longest streak without losing because of some stupid team that had a
Cubs
tie
tied.
or something. Leave it to the Cubs to cause us pain 2 years in a row without even doing it.
Hold on.
All right, go.
22 wins in a row is incredible, regardless if you think it matters or not. To win 22 times in a row, that's an incredible feat, and I'm proud of the Indians.
What does Iceman in Top Gun? What's his fly guy with him? It's Slider,
Maverick?
right? Iceman and Slider.
I thought it was Maverick.
No, you got Maverick and Goose, and then you got
Goose.
Iceman and Slider.
Yes.
Okay, and they're sitting there and they go, the plaque for second place is in the ladies' room. Okay,
Wow.
Remember that line?
Well,
that's where that streak falls into line, right?
Thank you for that.
That's where that streak falls into line. It's
because it's still an incredible feat for a city starved of championships. It's still a wonderful feat that it was our Indians that won 22 in a row.
So then October, we could literally take October.
Let's just take
and
October
let's
away.
just delete October.
Can we delete it?
Can you hashtag delete October?
No.
What?
That's
That's
when we got married.
No. I'm talking. Our anniversary was the only good thing in October. We'll go with that. All right. Hey, listen, guys.
You get nothing. You lose.
My son's birthday is at the end of October.
But October
The
2017
last
needs
day.
to just be stricken from the record. You ready? Here's why. Okay. You ready for this? First of all, the Indians get knocked out of the playoffs by, we're coming off the streak and we get knocked out of the playoffs by the I can't even say it.
Nope, don't say it. Nope. That team in New York.
Yeah. You can say it. The Yankees. So they knock us out in October, right? Which we're all expecting.
We were up 2 games.
It was a given. We're going to the World Series. It's a given. We're going back. We're going to win this year. We got the best pitching. We got the best
2 games
relief pitching. We got the
0.
best batting. We got the best defense, and everything let us down.
We flatlined.
We'll do an Indian show in 2018. We're not ready for that yet.
Nope.
Okay, but then in October, the Vegas shooting happened. Okay, and I went on like a Facebook tirade rant. Okay, it cost me friends. It cost me family. It cost me business stuff. It cost me stuff, right?
Yeah,
because I was in the previous tragedies, anything that was gun related, I've always been sad. This one made me more angry than sad.
You were extremely animated.
Yes, I was animated. Okay, but then I came back. And I reassessed my position, and I tried to clean it up, but at that point, people had already deleted me and unfollowed me
and blocked you.
But the point is, here's the thought process, guys. Okay, when it comes to anything to do with policy, whether it be gun control or any topic that you want, I've been instructed by Marilyn Keith, the Akron City Council president, and a bunch of other folks around town. You act locally, but think globally. So in other words, your actions need to be within line of whatever's going on around your town. You work to make change there, and then you allow that to kind of trickle out around. Because I was talking to some of the, we mentioned some of the police earlier. I was talking to some of the police earlier this year after that happened, and they said that Akron is one of the least violent cities in America, and people don't get that, because if you look at our statistics, there's only 1% of Akron calls where the police are involved that require the use of force, and the national average is 5%. So in other words, Akron gets about 250,000 calls a year.
Yeah,
only about 200 to 250 of those require the police to actually get that way.
Well,
so
thank you, Akron, for
my point is
behaving.
Akron's doing something right, and we're going to touch on that. We'll do a more serious show at some point in early 2018, and I'm going to have some of those folks, like I mentioned. We're going to get some police involved and have a town hall. We'll probably do a live town hall using 330 as a platform.
There you go.
All right, so then we move. Oh, I don't even know how to say this. You ready?
Hashtag me too.
Me too. 2017 has been a big year for women in regards to awareness and change. So we as men, I don't feel that we're fully qualified to discuss that topic.
I don't want to discuss that topic.
Right. But it's not that I don't want to. It's just I don't feel that we have the qualifications.
Well, that's why I don't.
Something.
Yeah, I don't want to discuss it because I'm a guy.
Yeah. So the point is that's a big deal in this year. All right. So we'll just bring that up. That all started back in October. Was when it really kicked off and just went rampant. And then in November, of course, we start November off. I believe it was November 1st. The Astros won the World Series.
Congratulations, Houston Astros.
And the Astros, the thing about the Astros, right, we as Indians fans, we were bitter and angry and irritated. I did not watch a single playoff game once we were eliminated. I'll admit that. I did not watch a single World Series game.
You missed out.
I'm one of the few people that will say that, right?
You missed out.
But the Astros were a nice feel-good story in relation to everything that happened. In regards to everything that happened with Houston, and
Absolutely.
So it was a lot like, remember when the Saints won the Super Bowl after Katrina?
Right.
It was a lot like that.
Kind of felt like that.
Yeah. So I mean, and with everything going on around Houston, it helped that community to at least find something to rally around together.
And I don't believe the Astros had ever won a World Series.
No.
My hat's off to them, Jose Altuve.
Yep. So
he might be 5'5", but he plays like he's 6'10", and I love it.
So good job to the Astros.
Yeah.
And then of course we had our 3-0 to go launch.
We did something in
we
November.
did something. We started the show.
We started something.
Yeah. So we hope you folks continue to watch us throughout 2018. We're going to start involving a lot more guests that'll appear live in studio with us.
Come hang out with us.
We're willing to do a lot more calls. We're also willing to extend the show to 2 hours. We haven't decided that yet. Well, hold on. I'm getting a look from Kate.
You're getting a look from your co-host. Like, what is going on here?
So we'll talk about that.
Things we need to discuss off air.
We'll talk about that. We'll talk about that. But the point is,
We
I
need to
just caused a
discuss this.
ruckus.
You did.
I just caused an in-studio ruckus.
Yeah, go
The
figure.
point is, we're excited about where we're going, and hopefully we'll have a couple sponsors in place by the beginning of the year. Also, back in November, if you followed sponsors, as in more than one.
As in
If
like
you
four.
follow the show and you watch their episode on high school football, Hoban did win the state
Shout
championship,
out.
and
Nice job, Hoban.
the Hoban Barberton game is what inspired that episode. So that was a big part of November for us.
Shout out
Okay.
to Hoban.
So now we're to December. With December,
We're in December right
we're
now.
in December. We're in December 2017.
Yep.
Russia
They got the boot.
Russia has been kicked out of the Winter Olympics, and that's a big deal, right? Because usually when you're looking at the medal count,
They're
it's
usually
like
right there.
Russia versus the U.S. I mean, now what?
But is that because they were
And they were
cheating?
doping or cheating or whatever. But I mean,
cheating?
his stupid head. The thing is, right? You got all these. When you think of the Winter Olympics, winter's different than summer. But all those little countries like Norway and Sweden and all of them, they all dominate the Winter Olympics.
Mhm.
But Russia's always way up there in the middle count with us. Okay, so to have them out and then to get a sneak preview teaser that Brock Lesnar might play Drago's kid in the new Creed movie.
I have not heard this.
Yeah, you guys haven't heard that one?
You're
Am I dropping?
talking-
Is this breaking news right now? Is this
You're
breaking news?
talking Brock Lesnar, the wrestler,
Brock Lesnar is reportedly accepting a role
the
In
guy
the new
that
Creed-
the guy that has no neck.
in a new Creed movie.
Okay.
To
Alrighty.
potentially play Drago. Then the whole Jerusalem thing that just happened
Yeah.
with Israel, and we don't even know the implications there. But that's a part of what's happened in 2017.
Yeah.
Disney decided to buy 20th Century Fox.
That's a big deal.
Monopoly much?
Maybe.
I mean, come
Yeah,
on.
that's-
I don't even
That's
I
a
don't even
big
know
deal.
how all that works, but you
It's a
know,
big
I'm
deal.
looking at all these big companies merging like that, and Disney has kind of systematically been taking over the world with Nike.
Yeah.
So we'll see what happens. Oh, look, Yoli just joined. I had a
Hey,
chance. I stopped by
how are
City Cleaners today. I had a chance to officially meet Yoli's daughter. So congratulations to her on her graduation. But Yoli is interesting, right? Yoli's with the Acronist.
Okay.
We're going to go into all that in 2018,
Yep.
and
Stay tuned.
and
folks.
she's a big deal, so I'm happy that she's friend of show. But we had a chance to meet earlier this week, and we're going to incorporate that in at some point in
Very cool.
January or February. And then I wanted to touch on something, right? You know, everyone has their own personal convictions. You all have your own traditions, holiday-wise. Well, there's one that's really become a neat little thing for us. Like you guys know, we go to Grace Church. We're open books. But when we go to our Christmas services, it's very interesting. There's a lot of big rock part of the program, but when you get to the end, the one thing that we do is we do this really neat thing at the very end. The
Candles.
the entire arena or auditorium,
Sanctuary.
whatever you want to call
Auditorium.
it, goes dark.
Yep.
And our lead pastor is standing up front, and he has a candle in his hand.
Yes, he does.
And he then lights the candles that go left and right, and the entire
Auditorium.
lights their candles as we a cappella sing Silent Night.
It is one of the most.
It
It gives me chills. The hair on the back of my neck stands up every year.
We
I
get
love
so wrapped up, folks, in the commercialism of Christmas that it gives us that moment where we can reconvene and we can say, just a reminder, this is Christmas.
Yep.
And it hits that pause button for us.
Yeah.
Okay. So to end 2017, I look forward to doing that this weekend.
Yep.
Like I said,
we'll be there. We'll be there on Saturday.
We've touched there was a lot of junk that happened in 2017.
Let's be honest, folks. 2017 was not nice.
Yeah, we'll pop it in the round file, and now we'll hit the reset button. But here's the interesting part, and you know, people, wherever you are on our president or wherever you are with us as a nation right now, from a money and commerce standpoint, we are doing well.
Yeah.
And the tax break that happened today, I don't know all the implications yet. I'll let you know in 2 years. I mean, I never understand all this stuff, but we'll let you know in 2 years. Okay.
Let's just be honest. 2017 will end up on the naughty list.
Yeah, it's
And,
definitely on the
it's on
naughty
the naughty
list for us.
It wasn't a great year, but hey, how about 2018?
All right,
How
so
about we make it a phenomenal year?
let's do that. So once again, folks, we've had a lot of fun spending time with you here tonight, and I hope the information, opinions that we've shared with you have been entertaining. Hey, you know what? We're a family show.
We are a family
let's bring
show.
all the
Hey,
munchkins out. Let's bring all the
kids,
munchkins out. Why don't you scoot in a little bit?
I will do what I need
Why
to
don't you
do.
scoot in a little bit?
Let me
Scoot in a little bit.
digest the table here.
Let's bring all the munchkins out. Let's bring all the munchkins out. Guys, if you can't see the camera, it can't see you.
Nope.
Let's bring all the munchkins out. Where's the babies? We're bringing the babies out. The baby took her hat off. Let's see if we can get her in. Get her in real quick. Come on, we're running out of time. We're running out of time.
We are closing.
Don't you? Oh, Kate's looking at me.
Come on.
Braden, you coming over? He's not coming.
Man.
All
No.
right, see,
Okay.
Ruthie, see if you can grab the baby. All right, there you go. All right, folks. So here we go. From our families to yours, we want to wish you a Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year.
Happy New Year.
Is the baby in there?
The
There she is.
baby
All right.
barely there.
We're going to
go, there we
resume
go.
our show in 2018, but until then, I don't know where I'm going, but there ain't no sense in being late. All right, everybody, you ready? Say goodnight, Shirley.
Good night, Shirley.
And we're done. Merry Christmas.
This podcast is a copyright of Moon Garden Media Limited.
Oh, just a lot of peanut butter.